Elena's heart pounded. As she stepped off the train and onto the busy platform of Greenwood Station, the tall buildings around her cast long shadows in the early morning light. She inhaled deeply and whispered to herself, "Good morning, world." It was her first day in a brand new country, and she knew she needed to learn to speak English if she wanted to make friends and build a life here. "Excuse me," she called softly to a passing stranger. "Can you help me?" The young man smiled. "Yes, of course. How can I help you?" Elena's voice trembled. "I am looking for Maple Street. Is it far?" He pointed to the left. "Turn left at the exit, then walk straight for 2 blocks. You will see the street sign." "Thank you very much," she said with relief. "Have a nice day." "You too," he replied, and continued on his way. With her small suitcase in hand, Elena followed his directions. As she walked, she practiced silently the sentences she would need. "Can you tell me where the restroom is?" "I would like a cup of coffee, please." "What time does the library open?" She knew that each phrase would bring her confidence. At Maple Street, a little cafe with a bright red door caught her eye. She pushed open the door and stepped inside. The warm aroma of coffee and baked bread wrapped around her like a comforting hug. "Hello," she greeted the barista. "Good morning," the barista replied. "What can I get for you?" Elena smiled nervously. "I would like a cappuccino, please, and a croissant." "Sure. Anything else?" "No, thank you," she answered. "That will be $5. Eleanor handed over the money. "Here you are." "Thank you." The barista handed her the warm cup and pastry. "Enjoy." "I will, thanks." She found a table by the window and sat down. As she sipped her coffee, Elena thought of her family back home. She missed them terribly, but she knew this was her chance to grow. She opened her notebook and wrote, "Daily use, English sentences, hello, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, how are you? I am fine, thank you. And you? Excuse me. Sorry, can you help me? Where is? I would like. How much is this? Thank you. You're welcome. Have a nice day." She practiced each sentence aloud, her voice growing stronger. Then she noticed a face at the next table. A young man with dark hair and kind eyes was looking at her. "Hi," he said shyly. "My name is Carlos. What's yours?" "I'm Elena," she replied, closing her notebook. "Nice to meet you, Elena." "Nice to meet you too," she said, feeling a flutter in her chest. "Are you new here?" "Yes," she confessed. "It's my first day." "Welcome," he said. "Would you like some company?" "That would be nice. Thank you." They talked for a while. Elena learned his daily routine. "I wake up at 7 a.m., he said. "I go to work at 9 a.m., and I finish at 5 p.m. She repeated the sentences softly to herself, committing them to memory. "I wake up at 7. I go to work at 9. I finish at 5. Carlos pointed out simple signs. This cafe is called Red Door. Across the street is Greenwood Library. Elena listened carefully. He taught her, "You turn right at the library, then left at the bakery." She practiced. Turn right, turn left, go straight. Later that afternoon, Carlos offered to show Elena around the neighborhood. They walked past colorful shops where signs read, "Fresh bread," "Hair salon," "Bookstore," "Flower shop." At each sign, Carlos asked, "Do you know what that means?" Elena would pause and think, then answer. "It means," if she was wrong, he gently corrected her. Each time she said, "Thank you for correcting me." When they reached a small park, an old woman feeding pigeons smiled at Elena. "Hello," the woman said. "Such a beautiful day, isn't it?" "Yes," Elena replied. "The weather is very nice. Would you like some bread?" The woman offered. "That's very kind of you," Elena said. "Yes, please." The old woman gave her a few crumbs. Elena said, "Thank you so much." The woman patted her hand and said, "You're welcome, dear." That evening, Elena returned to her small apartment. She unlocked the door and whispered, "I'm home." She placed her bag on the table and then took out her notebook. Under her previous list, she added new sentences. "I'm home. What is your name? My name is... Nice to meet you. Good night. See you tomorrow." She practiced each one, her voice echoing softly in the empty room. Then she sent a message home. "Hello, Mom. I arrived safely. I am happy. I will call you soon. I miss you." She pressed send, and relief washed over her. Over the next few days, Elena's world grew bigger. She learned to say, "Can I have the bill, please? Where is the bus stop? I don't understand. Could you repeat that?" At the grocery store, she asked, "Where is the milk?" The clerk pointed. She said, "Thank you." At the pharmacy, she needed medicine. "Excuse me," she began. "I need something for a headache." The pharmacist recommended a tablet. Elena repeated, "How many times a day?" He said, "Take 1 tablet twice a day after meals." She repeated carefully, 1 tablet twice a day after meals. Then she said, "Thank you very much." One morning, Elena woke up hungry. She stepped out to buy breakfast. At the bakery, she smiled and said, "Good morning. I would like 2 pieces of toast and a cup of tea." The baker replied, "Would you like butter on your toast?" Elena paused, then answered, "Yes, please." As she waited, she practiced in her mind. Would you like, yes, please." Perfect. Back at the apartment, on the small balcony overlooking the street, Elena ate her breakfast. She looked down and saw Carlos across the street, waving. She waved back. He crossed the road and joined her. He brought 2 coffees. "I thought you might like this," he said. "I would love it," she replied. They talked about their dreams. Carlos dreamed of opening a small cafe. Elena dreamed of becoming a teacher. She said, "I have a dream." He encouraged her. "Follow your dream." She repeated, "Follow your dream." The words tasted of hope. One evening, a thunderstorm broke out. The wind howled, and rain pounded on her window. Elena's power went out. She lit a candle, and shadows danced on the walls. She felt a pang of loneliness. She stood by the window, watching the rain. Suddenly, her phone buzzed. It was from her mother. "Are you okay? The weather looks bad on the news." Elena typed back, "I'm okay. Don't worry. I love you." Then she closed her eyes and whispered, "I am not alone." The next morning, the storm had passed. The streets were wet, and the air smelled fresh. Elena stepped outside and said, "Good morning, sunshine." The sun peeked through the clouds like a shy child. On her way to the library, she saw a stray dog shivering under a bench. She knelt down and said, "Are you hungry?" She took a sandwich from her bag and offered it. "Here you go." The dog wagged its tail. Elena smiled and said, "You're welcome." Then she gently petted the dog. "My name is Eleanor," she told him. "I will call animal control." She called out, "Excuse me." A man came running. "That's my dog," he said with relief. "Thank you." Elena said, "You're welcome. Take care of him." The man drove off, and Elena watched. Her, I Heartlight. At the library, Elena returned her books and borrowed new ones. She greeted the librarian. "Hello, I have these books to return. Can I borrow 3 more books, please?" The librarian stamped her return slip. "Certainly." Elena said, "Thank you. Have a great day." The librarian smiled. "You too." Each day, Elena's English grew a little stronger. She used simple phrases without fear. She said, "Please," and "Thank you," and people smiled back. She learned "I'm sorry," and that's okay. She learned to ask, "How much is this?" and to respond, "It's too expensive," or "It's affordable." Weeks turned into months. Elena found a part-time job at the cafe where she had her first cappuccino. On her first day, she welcomed customers with, "Hello, what can I get for you?" She remembered the nervous words she had used months ago and smiled at how far she had come. One afternoon, Carlos entered the cafe with a bouquet of wildflowers. Elena's heart leapt. "For you," he said quietly. "Thank you for being my friend." "I'm happy you are my friend," she replied, cheeks warm. He smiled. "Your English is amazing now." Elena paused, then said, "Thank you. It's because of you." Carlos looked away, then back. "I'm glad." That evening, after closing, they walked to the park. Under a lamppost, Carlos said, "I have something to tell you." Elena's heart pounded. She said, "Okay." Carlos took her hands. "I like you, more than a friend." Elena felt tears prick her eyes. She said, "I like you too." They stood under the stars, holding hands. Elena whispered, "I never thought I could speak English so well. But more than that, I never thought I could find love so far from home." Carlos brushed a strand of hair from her face. "Your heart speaks louder than any language." Elena smiled through tears. "Good night." "Good night," he echoed. As they parted, Elena looked back at her new life, the city lights, the faces she knew, the words she had learned. She thought of the sentences that had brought her here. "Can you help me?" "Thank you very much." "Excuse me." Each was a stepping stone on her journey. That night, Eleanor opened her notebook one last time. She wrote, "Daily use English sentences. My journey. Good morning, world. Excuse me. Can you help me? I would like a cup of coffee, please. Thank you very much. Where is... I'm home. Good night. How do I say? I have a dream. I like you." She closed the notebook and whispered into the dark room, "I did it." Tears of joy slid down her cheeks. In her hand, she held the promise of tomorrow, and in her heart, the echo of each simple sentence that had changed her life.